Hello, hello, everybody. So let's get started for our Monday intention activation session. So as usual, before we start, let's give ourselves a little stretch. Give yourself a moment to stretch your body, stretching your arms, maybe rolling your shoulders, moving your head. If you've been at a desk for all morning, like for a few hours up until now, you may want to stand up and shake your legs and then sit back down. Whatever feels good to you. And then once you find a comfortable position, sitting down, preferably with your feet flat on the floor, then and only then just allow yourself to close your eyes. And here we're gonna simply start by bringing our awareness to our whole body and where we are sitting. Where we're sitting and noticing the weight of our body where we are sitting. And then bring your attention a little bit more towards the floor, into our feet, noticing your feet and the points of contact between your feet and the floor, and noticing the weight of your feet on the floor. And here you can press your feet into the floor a little bit more if you need to. And here let's just set that intention that we are grounding ourselves. We are anchoring ourselves into the earth, into the here and now. And once we've done that, let's bring our attention all the way back up from the feet, and this time into the chest. And in the middle of the chest, into the heart. We're going to connect with our hearts. And if that helps, you can place one hand over your heart, touching your heart, right in the middle of your chest, your energetic heart, in a sense. And you can also tune in to either listening or sensing the sounds or sensations of your heart beating in your chest. And once you're doing that, you can also imagine or visualize as if your own breath is flowing in and out through your heart. So here, keep breathing normally through your nose, allowing your whole belly to expand and contract when you breathe in and out. But just add that imagination, visualization, as if your breath is entering your heart when you breathe in and flowing out from your heart when you breathe out. And then start to slow down your breathing a little bit, slowing it down and deepening it a little. Just a little bit slower and deeper than usual. And try to have a steady rhythm where your in-breath and out-breath are about the same length. And that rhythm keeps repeating from one cycle of breath to the next. And it's that combination of being focused in the heart and that steady, comfortable rhythm for your breath that is going to bring a sense of peace and calm to your whole body. So let's do this for a bit longer together in silence, and I'll let you know when we are ready for the next step. Okay. So you might start to feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxed. And we're going to take advantage of this calmer state to start our reflections. And let's start by first reminding ourselves of the direction we aim for in the future. So that's maybe either the vision that you have for your life, if you know that, if that's clear enough for you, or it could be maybe some shorter term goals or projects that you wish to accomplish. So just remind yourself where you're heading towards the future. What's the direction you want to have? What's important in the future that you want, you wish to achieve, accomplish, create? And once we've done that, now we are gonna start contemplating how did our recent past, how did we do in the recent past? Meaning just the week that is just finished, just behind us. We're just gonna reflect on it and notice what worked well already and what didn't work as well as we want to. So we can see whether we're already on track, on trajectory towards reaching our goals and our vision, or if we need a little bit of course correcting. So if you want to, if that helps, you can imagine as if you can float above yourself, float above your timeline, so that you had a bird's eye view on all of the events that happened last week. If you could be an observer of the week that has just finished, And from that place, from that position, just noticing what's already working well for you and what's not working as well as you want. And here you can contemplate all of the areas of your life that are important to you. Or if you need to be more specific and focus on one aspect only, it's totally up to you. But in any case, just look at last week and just observe, notice what's working well that you're going to want to keep and nurture and build on, and what's not working as well as you want, as in what you would want to maybe change or let go of, course correct. So in essence, look at everything you want more of and the things that you want less of. But just pay attention to not only focus on results and outcomes. Sometimes you might get the results that you want, but the process to get there was terrible, was pain, not in the flow, not bringing you joy. So have a look at that too. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes we don't get the results, but the whole process attempting to get the result was full of joy and uplifting. So notice that too, and don't throw out some good things just because the end result was not there, because maybe it wasn't a no, it was just a not yet. So again, we'll take a few minutes in silence to reflect, and then I'll let you know when we're ready for the next step. Remember everything, what's working well, what's not working well last week. Okay, one more minute, reflecting on last week. Okay, and we're gonna finish this section of our contemplation by asking ourselves that one question: if last week or a version of it was to repeat itself over and over into the future, would that actually design a trajectory that is on track with your vision of your goals for the future? Is it drawing a trajectory that is pointing in a different direction? And so just get a sense whether basically if nothing changed from last week to the next, does that bring you closer to what you want or not? And sometimes it might be off track, but it might be going in a direction that's also interesting. You know, you might want to consider that maybe, but maybe it's not pointing really well in the direction that you said that you wanted. And so maybe, you know, if that's the case, maybe just notice and make a note for yourself to reflect on that maybe later. That what is it that you really want? Is what you really want what you said you wanted a few minutes ago? Or maybe you're trying to convince yourself that this is what you want, and maybe the trajectory that your current actions are generating, maybe they're leading towards something that maybe you don't want to admit, but maybe something that you would also want, but can't go to two places at the same time. So let's make a note that if you're not quite on track with what you said you wanted, maybe there's something for you to notice here, you know, for your own development. But in any case, if the direction that you're heading towards is not pointing where you want, just have no blame and no harsh judgment on it, because now we're going to start to course correct. And that's the next part of our session. So for this one, we are going to start by officially inviting your imagination to come and play with us. And now we're going to imagine a scenario for this week, the week that is starting today. That would be an ideal scenario where everything would work perfectly in a way that really brings you closer from the vision that you said you wanted at the start of this session. So just imagine what your week would look like, sound like, and feel like if it's the perfect week that brings you or keeps you on track with what you say that you want. And for that, I always suggest that you start by imagining yourself first. When you imagine yourself at your best, imagining yourself in the best possible mood, in the best possible energy, mental, emotional state, when you're being efficient and productive and creative, and you're full of ideas, and you're making decisions with ease, and you're taking action with motivation. When you are this person, what happens? What does your week look like, sounds like, and feels like? What are you making happen? What are you creating? How are you impacting people around you? Just take a moment to imagine yourself in that way. And keep imagining, or just notice how your imagination brings you some elements. Like what happens? What do you make happen? It can be very practical, but it can also be on a more subtle level, on how you're inspiring maybe other people. How you're inspiring yourself, even how you're generating new ideas for yourself, new projects, new goals even. So just take a moment, imagine yourself. And as you imagine yourself, since you're obviously not on your own and you are inspiring and impacting other people, take a moment to also imagine what's that creates for the people around you, how it's impacting them, and in turn, how they're impacting people around them. It can be all the people you love, people that are the closest to you, your family and friends. It can also be the people you work with or you work for, your clients, your co-workers. It can also be all of these people that you randomly meet in the street, in public transport, in the shops. How are you impacting people? And how in turn they're impacting people around them. And of course, we don't know that in detail, but we can imagine even just a flow of energy moving from you to a first circle of people, and from that circle of people to another circle of people, and imagining, visualizing that ripple effect moving from circle of people to circle of people. And as you do this, just imagine all of the opportunities and possibilities that you've opened up and created for others, and how others are also creating possibilities and opening doors for other people. So just take a moment to imagine all of this. Because then the next step is to imagine how this ripple effect of opening doors, inspiring people, creating possibilities, not just for yourself, but also for others. And when that ripples out into the world, how that comes back into your own experience in ways that you could not possibly expect or anticipate before. So just imagine what amazing possibilities, opportunities are maybe entering your awareness in the form of surprises, unexpected news, again, unexpected doors opening that look random, but actually they are also part of results, part of a dynamic that you've contributed to create. So how is it coming back to you in unexpected ways? So take a moment to imagine all of this. What good news, unexpected surprises, unexpected opportunities. If you imagine them, what could they be entering your awareness this week, the week that's starting today? Keep imagining. What does your week look like, feels like? Sounds like? When you're at your best, when you're a creator of your or everything that's of course in your control, but also creator of a positive energy and dynamic into the world that is also coming back to you in indirect ways. So just imagine, keep imagining what that could look like. Allow yourself to imagine big. Don't restrict yourself. What could an amazing opportunity look like right now for you? And as you imagine it, it might look all random, all made up, obviously, since you're imagining it. But knowing that it might be entering your experience because it's the result of this chain reaction that you contributed to send into the world. Chain reaction of positive energy, of impact, where everyone along the way is blessed with opportunities. So when you're opening up possibilities for not just yourself, but others, we all benefit. All comes back in ways, shapes, or form that may not look what we expected in the first place, but it is coming back in the form of new opportunities for you. Okay, and we're gonna finish this part of contemplating, imagining this week by setting an intention that yes, we can imagine best possible scenarios, but our imagination is still limited to what we already know. So let's set up that intention that it's possible that we receive opportunities and possibilities that are totally out of the current paradigm of our imagination. So just set an intention that if or when an opportunity will present itself that looks so unfamiliar to you, it's not because it's not an opportunity. It is just that it's an opportunity that that is beyond what you're able to imagine right now. So just make that decision now for yourself, that when that happens, you will understand it, you will acknowledge the opportunity for what it is, and you will happily receive and welcome it into your experience. Even though you could not possibly imagine it right now. So that way you're allowing yourself to welcome a lot more into your experience, a lot more than what you think is possible. And you're also detaching yourself from knowing exactly how things might show up in your life. You're just detaching yourself from the specifics. You know you're going to welcome the energy in your life, and in any way, shape, or form, even those shapes and forms that are not familiar to you yet. Okay, so once we've done that, now we're gonna start and notice how we're feeling. How does it feel when we've imagined all of the best possible outcomes and scenarios? Remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between real or imagined. So right now, just imagining the best week that will make you feel something. And that's something, maybe you know exactly what it is, you can put a name to it, or maybe not. Maybe it's just sensations in your body. You don't know exactly, you couldn't even articulate what it is, but you feel it. And so in any case, now we're going to make these sensations, these emotions or feelings stronger and stronger. So I'm going to invite you to imagine now as if these sensations, these emotions or feelings, as if they're flowing into your heart when you breathe in, and they're flowing out from your heart when you breathe out. And that every time you breathe in, it's as if you can feel them more and more intensely within yourself. And when you breathe out, it's as if you're radiating these sensations into the space around you and in front of you. Radiating these sensations into the space outside of yourself when you breathe out, and connecting more and more and feeling them with more and more intensity every time you breathe in. And notice that with each cycle of breath, the sensations are becoming stronger and stronger. You feel them with each in-breath, bringing them into you, and you radiate them with more and more power with each out-breath. With each cycle of breath, these sensations are getting stronger and stronger, to the point that now your body is as if it's completely full with them. And as you breathe out, It's overflowing. Your heart is overflowing, pouring out these sensations into the space around you with such strength, such power, that it's literally turning into a laser beam, shooting out from your heart, a laser beam of these sensations radiating out from your heart. And that laser beam is getting more and more concentrated and focused into the space right in front of you. And as if you can control this laser beam with your own heart, now I'm going to invite you to imagine as if you're drawing a big circle with this laser beam right in front of you. And now you realize that this big circle that you've carved out with your laser beam shooting out from your heart is turning into a big portal. It's like a doorway, a pathway in space right in front of you. And you know that is a portal through space, but not just, it's also a portal through time. And you know that on the other side of this portal is a new version of your timeline. It's a new version of the week that is starting today, a version that has all possibilities available to you for a week that will bring you closer to your vision. So we're going to get ready now to step through that portal. So imagine in your mind's eyes that you're standing up, taking a few steps in front of you and putting one foot through the portal and now the other foot through the portal, and this is it. You're now on the other side. And as soon as you're on the other side, you just notice that the portal itself behind you has just disappeared. The portal is gone. There is no turning back. And as the portal is gone, all of your timeline from the past has dissolved. There is only moving forward now. So I'm going to invite you to take some deep breath in and out slowly. Imagine as if you're taking a few steps now on the other side of this portal, on this new timeline, and that you start enjoying breathing in that new air. So just imagine as if, yes, you're really breathing in a renewed air, a renewed oxygen that is connected with all of these possibilities that you've imagined before. All the ones you've imagined and all the ones that you were not yet able to imagine. So breathe in all of these possibilities, connect with them, connect with that new version of time and space for you. On your out breath, maybe breathe out gratitude. Gratitude that, yes, this is it. You're in a new version of yourself and your reality and your timeline. A version where you have access to everything you need to get closer to your vision. So taking some deep, slow breath, feeling that new connection. And here again, paying attention to how you're feeling again. Connected with this new version of time and space. And now what we're going to do to finish this session is we're going to create an anchor that we'll be able to use at any time when we need it during the week to immediately bring ourselves on track with this timeline that we are now connected to. And so to do that, just imagine that, no. To do that, just bring your thumb and index finger on your right hand together and press your two fingers. Just noticing the points of contact between your fingers. Noticing the pressure. And then do the same thing on the other hand with the thumb and index finger of your left hand. Again, noticing the sensations, the point of contact, the feeling of pressure between your fingers. And now just do this with your two hands simultaneously. Pressing your fingers, and this time try to find a point of perfect, exact same pressure on the right and left. Try to find a point of perfect balance, perfect equilibrium between the pressure on your right and the pressure on your left between your fingers. And as you do this, your mind has no choice. Your mind has no choice to be fully present on finding that point of pressure. And when it's fully present, it has no choice but to release everything from the past that doesn't serve you now. Releasing the old timeline, unlearning what doesn't serve you anymore. Detaching from all residues of beliefs, limitations that do not belong to your new present. So as you keep finding that point of perfect equilibrium, your mind is 100% present. It has no choice but to fully accept this new version of time and space, this new version of reality that you're now on. Accepting it as the new here and now for you. Okay. If you need to, you can detach your fingers and bring them back together again. Just experimenting with releasing your anchor and using it again. Putting all of your attention into finding a point of perfect balance between pressure on the right and left. Knowing that that's all you would ever have to do if you need to this week to remind yourself, to remind your mind, to remind your whole body, your psyche, of the new trajectory that you're now on. Okay. So once you feel ready, you can release your anchor this time for good, knowing that you're now fully anchored into this new timeline. And now we're going to bring ourselves back, and to do that, rub your hands until they're warm, place them at the top of your head. And now we're going to proceed to touch our body as if we're reminding ourselves of the boundaries of our physical bodies. So starting from the top down to the face, scalp, neck, shoulders, touching yourself gently, touching your arms, touching the front of your body from shoulders down to your abdomen, touching the sides of your body from underneath your armpits and your rib cage all the way down to your hips. Touching your back as much as you possibly can reach from top to the spine, to the bottom of the spine. And then from top of your thighs, your hips, down to your thighs, knees, all the way down to your ankles and your feet. And here, if you cannot touch your feet, it's fine, don't worry. Just press your feet into the floor again, feeling that point of contact between your feet and the floor. And anchoring yourself again, grounding yourself again in the energy of the earth. This time spending a few seconds to send warm gratitude to the earth for allowing our whole experience onto this plane of existence. Okay, and now, once you've done all of this, you're ready to open your eyes when you're ready and to just go and have fun with your week. Have a beautiful, productive, insightful, creative, joyful week. And I shall see you next Monday. Bye, everybody.